Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another reaction for you guys. Today guys, I'm checking out the third episode of WandaVision that dropped a couple hours ago. Now, here's something interesting. So I pulled up the Disney Plus app, and I knew about this a couple days ago, but it's also for this episode. The titles have started appearing for WandaVision now, because when I watched the first two episodes, the day of, on Friday, the first episode, and then a couple days later for the second episode, the titles weren't available. Then I believe last Wednesday, a couple days ago, the first two episodes got changed from episode 1, episode 2 to actually titles. Episode 1, filmed before a live studio audience. Okay. Episode 2, don't touch that dial. And now the third episode we're checking out today, now in color, which of course, episode 2, the ending there, it went from black and white to color, which happened in sitcoms. So it kind of made sense that the transition happened. Now, the first two episodes, I liked the setup and the fact that we're at two different sitcom eras. And the fact that the first episode had a little bit of reality break, but the second one did a lot more in terms of introducing us to Monica Rambeau, and she was like, I'm not even sure what I'm doing here. We see everything's still black and white till the end of the episode, but while we're still in black and white, there's a Sword helicopter. So remember, what's that agency? Sword helicopter in color. And then when that girl, I forget her name, but when there's like the break in reality and we have the radio, Wanda, who's doing this to you, Wanda, or something like that. And she's like, and the woman's like, who are you? And then the glass breaks and then her blood is actually colored. It's red. It's not black and white or whatever. So all that breaks happening. Then somebody in a beekeeper outfit with a sword logo on the back turns and looks at Wanda and she goes, no, and reverses time. And then it ends the episode with them kissing instead, and then the color change. So, in terms of going to color. So, now in color, here we are. I'm not sure what to expect here because this show has already been throwing me some curveballs. And so, for me, I think it's just going to be more of like showing those breaks, maybe more detailed in terms of what exactly is happening. Because my main theory is that Wanda has taken over a town in a sense, and everybody in that town is basically changing and morphing into her reality that she's building as a sitcom type thing. And the one thing everyone keeps talking about now is Agnes. I believe that's the character's name that's popped up twice now, saying there's something up with her. There's certain dialogue and certain things she does that makes it seem to believe she's the villain or she's a part of the villainous side of things. I'm not really sure, but I believe that theory to be correct. But overall, I think it's an entire town that she has morphed and is morphing into whatever reality she believes in, and that's why we're seeing repeat characters come back because of that. So yeah, let's get into it now, guys, and see what this episode's all about, because I'm ready. I'm excited for this. Here we go, guys. Episode 3, now in color, WandaVision. Let's go. WandaVision. I would think so.
That much we figured.
You were at about 4 months now. Is that right? I'm taking the wife on vacation this afternoon.
Oh, have a nice holiday.
Vacation?
Think you might have taken the head strumming a little too far there, old chum.
So I have. Thanks, buddy.
Strange sensation. It's kind of fluttery.
That's cool.
I didn't mean to.
Oh,
That's cool, though.
darling. Seemingly logarithmic, but were I to graph the fetal development thus far.
He's gonna be here before you figure it out.
Really?
Tommy.
Oh my gosh.
Let's abandon the kitchen.
Do these earrings
They're together? Uh-oh. Power goes out.
Oh, thank God.
I think something's wrong here, Wanda.
Now he's breaking a little. Oh.
Yes, I know what you mean. The truth is...
This is a real one. What? I thought you said Friday afternoon.
He's floating.
Timings between development...
Another commercial.
Hydrosilk. Find the goddess with
Just-
It's 75 degrees out. You making a fashion statement?
Trying to hide the fact that she's having a baby like the next day.
No.
What just happened?
Would you look at that? What? Fruit.
Fruit! Is that a stork?
Look at me going on and on like you got all the
What the hell?
time in the world. It's 10 minutes before the big presentation, and Mr. Haddix has got nothing. Nothing, that is, except the worst case
It
of
didn't
hiccups.
disappear.
Yes, it did. Launch into your day the right way.
That's so close.
Oh, the baby's coming. You're pregnant?
Yeah. Uh-oh. How is she not seeing all this stuff happening? Like that. And that. Baby! Baby!
Yes, Tom.
He finally accepted the name Tommy. Oh! Yeah, the second one. I was waiting.
Small towns, you know, so hard to escape.
Escape. Escape.
Is Geraldine inside with Wanda?
Yes, what?
You're such a strong lady. Oh, I'm a twin.
Yep.
I had a brother.
I hope we see him. Maybe. In this? I don't know.
He was killed by Ultron.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Is she breaking?
What did you say? No home.
What?
Because she crashed in there. She's not supposed to be there.
What did you say about Pietro? Pietro?
Yeah, the brother. You said Ultron. You said it.
Who are you?
She came here because we're all...
Stop it.
She knows.
Who
Agnes.
are you?
Who are you?
Where's Geraldine?
Well,
She left, honey.
where'd she go?
She had to rush home.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. On the edge there, you see the... Yeah. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. There you have it, guys. Episode 3 of WandaVision, now in color. Holy crap. Wow, this episode. There's a lot of things to talk about. Holy shit. Okay, so... Where do we begin? I mean, there's a lot of things at the end that is really interesting. A lot of, like, getting close to that breaking point, and Wanda really, like, going... What did you just say? Like, some major stuff going on there. So, let's start at the beginning and we'll get towards the end, because I think it's interesting how they were doing the sitcom tropes of, like, 70s-ish, well, 60s to 70s-ish with the color era of sitcoms when they transitioned over. They wasted no time getting to her just being pregnant and then now giving birth, like, so quick in this episode. It was really rushed, because the way it came across to us, it was like the next day, you know. She was showing signs of pregnancy the day before, but then she's had the twins. So that was interesting. The fact that right away, we had the neighbor who was, like, using, like, a hedge trimmer. He was cutting into the brick, and he's just, like, staring at Vision. I'm like... Okay, so this is the start of a break, in a sense. Not really, but I mean, it is, because it's really odd, and he's still doing it. I like how more in this episode, Vision was starting to break too, and I definitely want to get to that one break in a second, where he comes and sits down, and then Wanda reverses it, and then he has a different approach to sitting down and saying a line to her. So, I like how they did the baby room up. She's, like, getting all the stuff hanging up. She's like, and the painting and the stork, and then there's an actual stork who comes in later. She tries to make it go away. It doesn't. And then them arguing over Billy, Tommy. It's like, Billy, Tommy. And then eventually when she has, you know, the first one, before they realized they had twins, Vision accepted Tommy as the name. So that's good. But we had that whole bit where, like, the power and shit, everything just shuts down in the neighborhood because of her, like, basically in pain, and and so she does that. She's like, it's not working. Then all of the water, because water breaks. I guess that's the whole indication. Apparently everyone's water in all the pipes in their houses broke just like Wanda's. So it's just like raining in their house. And so she dries it off or whatever. Now, let's get to the breaks. Because I think that's what's the most interesting bit about this. Because we've been under this illusion of these sitcom things. We know it's not real. We know this isn't legit. But the fact is, episode 1 had a little bit of break. A little bit. Episode 2 had some more breaks. Definitely a break with someone actually coming in that's not supposed to be there, and then she reverses time. In this, we have more Vision breaking and Wanda confronting Geraldine, aka Monica Rambeau, about the necklace and everything, so we'll get to that. So, the first break that I think was really interesting, and I think they handled it pretty well. And it seemed kind of odd at first, because Vision starts to question things like, he was he's using the hedge clippers for the brick, and there's a lot of other stuff. He's like, I think something's wrong here. And she just looks at him, and then all of a sudden, there's like a quick jump cut to where he's back standing up, and then he comes around, and then he has a more positive outlook on basically what's going on with her pregnancy and everything. Like, it was a very different approach to the lines. But see, she's forcing that. She's making it happen. So, I think with that break, it's like, maybe it's something to where if she's not like 100% in control of the reality she's building around herself, that those breaks can happen. Or maybe it's meant to happen because this isn't supposed to actually be happening. So the breaks will happen no matter what she does. She can revert it. She can reverse the time, whatever the case may be. But it doesn't change the fact that this is not real and that these breaks, like, there's no way for her to actually control it 100% and nothing can alter it. Like the sword helicopter in episode 2, the blood actually being in color when that glass breaks in her hand in episode 2, that stuff that should not have happened, because the way she's in, like, having it in her head, it's all black and white. It's not supposed to happen. Well, it did. So with this, Vision has that break. Now we get to Agnes, I think that's her name, throughout the episodes, the neighbor who told he was using the hedge clip of the brick. She told her attorney no, because he keeps trying to say something, and he's about to, I think, say we're all stuck in this reality. Same thing with that doctor too. The doctor wanted to go on vacation, and look, the car breaks down before they can even leave, and then he tells Vision before he leaves. The doctor's like, small towns can't escape it. Can't escape it. No one can escape it. I think no one can escape her reality unless she forces you out, like Monica Rambeau at the end there. So, Vision confronts the neighbors. They're talking. They're kind of being kind of awkward. And so they're like, well, Geraldine's in there. She doesn't have a home. She just got here. And he's like, nothing's wrong with her. Because Vision, he's like, nothing's wrong with Geraldine. What's wrong? What do you mean? Well, Monica Rambeau's not supposed to be there. Because in episode 2, when we get introduced to her, I believe she was on that sword helicopter. I mean, that was the theory, that the sword helicopter that landed in her bush and now is a toy in color, Monica Rambeau was on that. Because soon after she discovers that helicopter, Monica Rambeau first shows up and she goes, I'm not sure what I'm even doing here. So, she's in the house. The neighbor's like, so she doesn't have a family. She's not supposed to be there. Well, what does this mean? She doesn't have a home. She doesn't live anywhere. Because she's not supposed to be there. She's not in the reality. She wasn't meant to be in the reality. But I don't think Wanda knew that, because I think she was blending in pretty well. Like, I guess her clothes were changing, because once she got pushed out, which I get to more of that in a second, you saw the clothes change as she landed on the ground. So it was more, she was morphing into it. But I think she was she was under the spell of it, but then she kind of broke because Wanda mentioned her brother. But so that they're saying she doesn't have a home, the neighbors, and then she's like, and he was about to say it, and then she's like, no, don't say it. Because I think Agnes is a part of this whole deal. She's actually not under the guise of the reality. People are believing that she's the main villain, or she's a part of that whole thing. So we'll see about that. But I more of that was coming up. But so Wanda brings up Quicksilver, brings up her brother, Pietro, is that how you pronounce it? I'm bad with names. But brings up Quicksilver. And then you see Monica for a couple seconds break. And then she turns to Wanda and goes, your brother was killed by Ultron. And she's like, what did you say? And they say, oh, what do you mean? And then she goes to sit down, like, I said you were an amazing person, or whatever she said. That's not what she said. She said Ultron, which we haven't heard Ultron's name in a bit in the MCU. But we heard Ultron, mention Ultron and Quicksilver. And she saw the sword logo, because she saw that logo on the helicopter and on the back of that, looked like a beekeeper who came out from under the manhole cover in episode 2. Saw that same logo. She sees the logo again. And so when Vision comes back, he's like, where's Jodie? He's like, oh, she had to leave, honey. Where'd she go? Go out the side door? She sent her out of the reality. Monica Rambeau lands, clothes change, we have a bunch of vehicles pop up, and then we see on the side of, like, the camera as it's pulling back before it goes to credits, we see, we even saw it too, looked like television lines or whatever, like a screen. Monica Rambeau shoot out of the reality that Wanda has built, and it's in that town. It's in that town. I believe it said Westview, I think, or something, but it was in a town or like a neighborhood or something she's taken up. I think it's a town because we actually see some town shots from episode 2, and then in the intro of the show WandaVision, we saw them being in the town, so I think that it's a town that's been taken up, and so I'm assuming they have it all closed out, where no one can get in, and no one can escape, really, unless she forces you out. They have the whole place, surrounded, basically, and they're trying to figure out what to do. That's why they were able to break through Wanda, because they were breaking through the radio, because the radio is playing in there, so let's try to break through there, and so that ultimately didn't work. I wonder what's going to happen next, man. I'm really digging the show. I like the fact that we're seeing these breaks, and Wanda's damaged. And I think more and more as we're getting into it, and the more we're hearing about Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man 3, that I believe this event, this show, is going to bring forth the multiverse. It's going to bring forth the craziness of Spider-Man 3 into the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. It's Wanda. It's because of Wanda. Because of what she's doing here. Because essentially she is creating an alternate reality with Vision being alive and kids, which would never have happened because Vision's not around, or at least not those same kids. So I believe this is going to create the multiverse. It's going to be insane. But I'm really enjoying the show. I think it's awesome, and the fact is, the critics who get the access to screeners saw the first 3 episodes before any episodes dropped. So it's interesting that they did that, but now I kind of see why, because the first 3 episodes, you see the sitcom era stuff, but then you see more and more breaks. And then the way this episode ends, I mean, at this point, you want to, not show anymore until you start airing them correctly. But yes, good stuff. Really enjoyed the episode. What'd you guys think of WandaVision Episode 3? I'm curious to know your thoughts. Whatever thoughts you have, let them in the comment section below, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.